want to challenge something. I want to challenge something that we've told leaders, and maybe you've heard this before for over 20 years. We've told them that resiliency just means grit. Just push through, endure, carry more. And you almost just get rewarded the more you endure and push through and carry on. As a physician, I can tell you that's not resiliency. At least it's not sustainable resiliency. That's accumulation. And the body keeps a very precise ledger. Resilience, clinically, is not the capacity to endure stress, it's actually the capacity to return to baseline. The operative word is the capacity to return to baseline. A great example that will help to really bring this to life is think about when you exercise and think about your heart rate. You don't expect your heart rate when you go for a jog or go for a run to stay at a steady state. You expect it to spike and come back to baseline. Spike and come back to baseline. That recovery curve is a measure of health. The same is true for your people. The executives I see who are most effective over a 10-year horizon are not the ones who could push the hardest. There's the ones who could recover the fastest between meetings, between quarters, and even between crises. And here's what most organizations get wrong. They've built cultures that celebrate the sprint and the push, but they almost by doing that punish the recovery. Leaders who take real time off and who model this are somehow seen as less committed. Teams that protect their recovery windows are seen as less driven. So people perform the sprint indefinitely. The recovery curve flattens, and 6 months later, you have a burnout crisis you simply didn't see coming. Resilience isn't a trait you hire for. It's a capacity your culture either builds or erodes. So the big question I leave leaders with is this: is your organization, is recovery a cost or is it an asset? And do you yourself model that? Because your retention numbers, your engagement scores, and your innovation outputs are quietly being decided by this answer. Resiliency isn't grit. It's recovery, and something we simply don't address and highlight enough. And the companies that understand the difference are the ones that are simply going to outlast the rest.